Arsenal get green light for sensational £51 million transfer as asking price has been set. We're going to talk about that winger and how, in my opinion, this is going to be Arsenal's reaction to Manchester City signing Ilkay Gundogan. Arsenal are also on the verge of agreeing a deal with Wolves for the departure of Aaron Ramsdale, and Bournemouth are interested in Eddie Nketiah. If you're new to the channel, please do go down, hit that subscribe button. The road to 25,000 is well and truly on. Nearly 75% of everyone who's watched the channel in the last couple of days is not subscribed. So get down and hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and let me know your thoughts. Now, we're going to start off with the Aaron Ramsdale news. Now, according to BBC Sport, Wolves have made an offer to take Ramsdale on loan for the rest of the season. And Arsenal are looking at bringing in a goalkeeper from Spain. Now, it's an interesting one with Wolves because Wolves are they're a good Premier League club. They play some good football. Obviously, Arsenal just beat them at the weekend, and you'd expect them to. In terms of Wolves' goalkeeper situation, they've got Jose Sarr. Does Ramsdale come in and be the number one for Wolves? In my opinion, he does. I do feel a little bit sorry for Ramsdale because David Raya is one of the best goalkeepers in Europe right now. His clean sheet record is absolutely insane since he's been at Arsenal. But that defense, the setup they've got, the protection in front of that back four, everything seems to be going really well for Arsenal's defense. They've just brought in Calafiori. They've got Timber to come through. Zinchenko's playing well. You've got Tomiyasu and Nketiah as options. And if they can generate a loan with an obligation to buy or an option to buy for Aaron Ramsdale, I think that puts them in a very, very good position for the remainder of the transfer window. And then also you've got the likes of Eddie Nketiah, who is linked with a move away. The likes of Wolves, the likes of Fulham have been interested, the likes of Marseille. And one thing that's kind of, I think it might have been Babs that put it out. And it was something along the lines of, I think Chelsea have got £35 million or £30 million for Broja to join Ipswich Town. Now, Broja, I think, has got 8 Premier League goals in the last 4 or 5 seasons. But, of course, he's an academy graduate from Chelsea. It's going to be 100%, profit. Romano put out saying, Broja completed medical tests at Ipswich Town today. Loan with an obligation to buy a package in excess of £30 million. Looking at the fact that Broja's going for £30 million, I think Arsenal are well within their rights to demand a £30 to £35 million fee. And some people would even argue more for the likes of Eddie Nketiah. He's got a better goal scoring record than the likes of Broja. Of course, he's homegrown. I think Broja's homegrown as well. I don't. People are saying, "Oh, yeah, but it's too much. It's too much. It's too much." I think it's not. I think that's the market we're in. The market for strikers is absolutely bonkers at times. You've got players that would have been £20 million 5 years ago now going for 60 million. You've got players that are £15 million players now going for 30, 35. I think Eddie Nketiah will score goals, whether he's going to be at Bournemouth, whether he's going to be at a team in France. I think the setup he's in, I think he will 100% score goals because he's going to be the main man. Now, if they can get rid of the likes of Eddie Nketiah, it then puts Arsenal in a fantastic position for the remainder of the transfer window because they sell a homegrown player who will count as 100% profit. And there's been a few links coming out with regards to Ademola Lookman from Atalanta. And Football London have come out and said Arsenal get green light for £51 million transfer as asking price for double deal is set. And it says Arsenal are keen on Ademola Lookman, and Lookman is keen for move. It says Of course, Ramsdale's loan set. Lookman is a talented player who's already shown he's capable of English football during his time at Everton and Leicester. Since moving to Atalanta, the winger played a key role in, obviously, Atalanta's year last year, scoring a hat-trick in the Europa League final. Genuinely was one of the best nights of Atalanta's history. But I've spoken about a wide player a hell of a lot of times on the channel, speaking about how Lookman, the drop off between Bukayo Saka and Lookman would not be nowhere near as bad as Lookman and Reece Nelson. Lookman's a good player. If you look at his record since he's been at Atalanta, he's got a good goal scoring record for me. He can play as a second striker. He can play on the left. He can play on the right. He's got 50 goal contributions in 79 games. At Leipzig, he had 9 in 22. At Leicester, he had 13 in 42. At Charlton, he had 15 in 49. He's got his Europa League record is good as well, 9 in 18. You know, he's an experienced player now. He's, 26 years of age. He's going to be 27 in October. Last year, when you look at his individual seasons, he was so strong in the Europa League. Last year, in terms of his stats, he got 11 goals in the league. He got 5 in the Europa League, including a hat-trick in the final. He got 1 goal in the Italian Cup. Overall, he got 10 assists. But the beauty of the versatility he can add is he's played 32 games as a centre forward, 54 games as a second striker, 98 games on the left, 62 games on the right, and he's played a few games at left and right mid. His contract expires at Atalanta in, I believe it's 2026. He's valued at 51 million euros or 51 million pounds. I think that would be a very, very, very good signing for Arsenal. If I'm being brutally honest, I think this is the sort of signing that goes under the radar a little bit. And Arsenal now have to react because Manchester City are going to bring back Gundogan. We've got the here we go. And they're now looking at another player from Celtic who's a forward. So they've got the here we go. The agreement's been reached. There's positive talks from Guardiola. Man City are bringing back their treble-winning captain, and they're also bringing a forward. So Arsenal now have to react. Mikel Merino deal should be tied up by this week. There it is. Man City announced Gundogan. Here we go. Deal in place for a 1-year contract. I think that's smart signing from Manchester City. They need, of course, more quality and depth in the midfield. They can't keep relying on Rodri. Now, when you look at Ademola Lookman's individual stats, his stats are very, 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 very good. So when you look at his stats against wingers, when you look at his stats against forwards, they tick every single box you can imagine from an Arsenal perspective. It says, passes attempted, top 2%. Progressive passes, top 5%. Progressive carries, top 3%. Touch in the attacking penalty area, top 12%. Progressive passes received, top 2%. Even the defensive stats, blocks, top 13%. Interceptions, top 13%. He's compared to the likes of Vinicius Jr., Deniz Undav, who used to be at Brighton, Gabriel Jesus, an Arsenal player, Cody Gakpo, Son Heung-min, top players here. That's his stats against forwards. Then you look at his stats against wingers. Top 1% for non-penalty goals, top 4% for non-penalty XG, assists top 11%, assists top 9%. He ticks every single box. Plus, he's homegrown, right? That for me should be huge green ticks for Arsenal. And they've got the green light for a double deal, according to Football London. I personally believe that he would be a fantastic addition to Arsenal. You look at the options they'd have on the right. For instance, if you look at their fixtures you've got coming up, Bukayo Saka, I've said this many times, there's 8 games in the group stage of the Champions League now. You do not need to play Bukayo Saka 50 games a season. He will burn out. There's going to be times where you've got Man City at the weekend and you've got for instance, I'll give you an example here, right? This is Arsenal's fixtures. When you've got Liverpool at home, and you've got Bournemouth away, you could quite easily play Lookman against Bournemouth, give Saka a rest so he's fully fit for that Liverpool game. Or you go into this one, for instance. You've got Forest at home. You play Lookman then. You rest Bukayo Saka for West Ham away in a game which Arsenal struggled against West Ham twice last season. Or you play Lookman on the 30th and Saka on the 3rd. Look at the fixture pile-up they're going to have in December. Plus they're going to have Champions League fixtures, FA Cup fixtures, League Cup. That rotation on the right-hand side is going to be so important for Arsenal. And I think the likes of Lookman, I don't think there's a huge drop-off that Arsenal fans genuinely think. I think when you look at the likes of the way that Arsenal play, Lookman can play as an inside forward, can play as a winger, can play as a second striker. I think he gives something different to Arsenal. I'm going to go as far and say it'd be the perfect signing. He's so good in front of goal. When you look at him, when you compare them against wingers, he's similar to the likes of Leao, Rafinha, Felix, Florian Wirtz, Saka. He's a different sort of player, can play various different roles, homegrown, scores in big games, just won a trophy with Atalanta. Every single box you can imagine, he ticks. Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you have subscribed. The road to 25,000 subscribers is well and truly on. The Premier League season is well underway. We've still got a number of days left of the transfer window. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching. Drop a like. I am